watching out. For you, this is NewsWatch 12 at 4.
Welcome back to NewsWatch 12 at 4. We're joined live in studio today by Oregon U.S. Senator Ron Wyden. Senator Wyden, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Memorial Day to spend some here at Channel 12. Of course. And I know some sad news out of the sports world. Madison Marie with a touching tribute to NBA Hall of Famer and legend Bill Walton, who I know is a friend of yours. So I was just wondering if there were any stories, because obviously he was a great character, if there are any stories you'd like to share about your friend.
Well, Bill Walton had an incredible gift for basketball, but he had an unquenchable enthusiasm for life. Such an amazing guy, and all over our state, people are talking now about the celebration after the 1977 title. They're talking about seeing Bill at Grateful Dead concerts. And then, of course, the moment he walked into a room anywhere in the state with his tie-dyed green and yellow shirts, everybody was smiling.
How could you not? He'll be dearly missed all around the country, all around the world. But now to you, being in Southern Oregon, to shift gears a bit, town hall meetings in Josephine and Curry County tomorrow. I know they were a bit delayed, but tell us a little bit about these town hall meetings you're doing throughout the state and how they help shape the work that you do.
The reason I do them is that for a lot of Oregonians, because we're more than 3,000 miles from Washington, D.C., D.C. might as well be Mars for all the connection it has to people. So I've had more than 1,080 town hall meetings. I don't give a speech. People can come and talk, and I expect that this week what will dominate the meetings are the issues where the second word is bill. It might be medical bill, it might be gas bill, it might be housing bill, it might be education bill, but there are a lot of folks that are really walking an economic tightrope, and that'll be the big issue.
Definitely. And in 2020, the Almeda and Obenchain fires ripped through Southern Oregon, and recently you and Senator Merkley announced some FEMA funding for the city of Talent, which is just down the road from the studio. And I wanted to ask, how much of a focus do you have on wildfire prevention, wildfire recovery, and how that relates to housing?
It's a tremendous part of my work. I wrote the bill to end fire borrowing. It used to be that prevention money got raided to put fires out. I was able to end that. And this new money that we were able to get goes for hazardous fuels reduction. And the reason this is so important is it gets hot and dry. We're gonna have another hot and dry year. All of a sudden, you know, somebody throws a match or there's a lightning strike and you've got an inferno on your hands, and Talent and everywhere in Southern Oregon knows about this. So the money that we've been able to secure is gonna help us reduce that fuel load on the forest floor, and it's going to make a big difference.
And there's been a lot of that wildfire prevention work going on, local organizations throughout the Pacific Northwest, really. And another announcement that came from you and Senator Merkley recently was that the two of you joined the Bipartisan Delivery for Democracy Act, which focuses on postal delays. That's something that affects especially rural areas and in Southern Oregon, like Jackson, Josephine, Klamath counties. So how could this act help Southern Oregonians?
Well, some of these practices by the Postal Service just defy common sense. For example, you know, mail for rural areas goes to cities and then eventually comes back to rural areas. And DeJoy, the head of the postal operation, just doesn't bring the kind of common sense and fairness to these practices. It seems that big metropolitan areas get served, but not the rural areas, and so we're making sure that there are going to be changes.
And we talked a little bit about the town hall meetings tomorrow, but earlier today you spoke at the Eagle Point National Cemetery's Memorial Day ceremony. It's something you've done in the past before too. What's the importance of spending Memorial Day in this area and with some of the people who have lost loved ones?
This area has done so much to ensure that those who made the ultimate sacrifice are honored. And today, one of the key points that I made is, you know, back east, there's all kinds of talk about how the country is just hopelessly divided, tremendous division, all the rest. And I said to everybody, my message was, I'm looking out at all of you and I see unity, not division. I don't see, you know, red flags for certain folks, who've passed and the like. This is about red, white, and blue.